based on what can be inferred from their titles, the relationship between which of the following pairs of documents is most analogous between the relationship of these two passages. The first one was like, what? This guy is an economist and he has this aha moment. Whoa. Are you cool with that? The second one was what? Do you guys figure out where this is coming from when you read it? There's a line in here that sticks out like a sore thumb. Does anyone know where it is? 44, line 44. This article, hey guys, really, honestly. I'm just kidding. You guys see 44? This article will argue that income tax law and policy support that result. This article will argue. What does this sound like?
Journal.
This sounds like a law journal, especially the awkward wordiness of this claim. This article, not I, this article. This is like old school. Remember when the author before you now presents an argument? It's just like really weird. But this is how lawyers write, and you have to avoid taking on their style when you get into law school. True. Okay. Yeah, you really do. Because basically what happens is, just really quick, a half second here, because I worked for 5 years as a legal writing consultant. Everyone goes to law school, they read all this old garbage, and then they start thinking, well, if I want to be cool, if I want to be part of this community, I got to write like they did. And so you start writing like this. This article will argue that income tax law and policy support that result. Not, that's the way we should do things. That's how normal people would talk, right? That's the policy we should support, or that's the best policy for our country. This article will argue. The article will argue? You're arguing, right? But anyways, the point is that people take on the style of the old judges and stuff, and it's poor writing, it's hard to follow. So you got to move away from that. So people go to law school, they take that on, and then they leave law school, and all the partners say, this sucks, and eventually they get better, and they start writing like they used to write. Okay, so with that in mind, the point is passage B is a law article, whereas passage A is just like this observation on this guy who had an aha moment. Sound good? What answers were we debating in 10?
A and D.
A and D. Remember? Dude. Okay. So, A, advances in artificial intelligence. What do you like about that?
It sounded like a new thing they found.
Okay. Human psychology applied to robots.
We could just discuss the consequentialism of something. That's why it was so effective, right? Because it talks about psychology, like, okay, so in the event that, like, we do have robots trying to run our Earth, they don't have this, like, human psychology, so therefore is artificial intelligence exactly the way that we want to go. Like, I saw a consequential, like, this and then this as a result of this.
Okay.
I chose D for the rest.
So, do you agree that the second passage is definitely advocating for something? You don't think it's advocating for something? I think that's where line 44 comes into play.
Oh, this article will argue that.
Yeah. See, what I'm saying is hard to understand what they're trying to say. If the guy just said, this is what we should do, then you'd be like, oh, you're arguing for this position, right?
So, why are you bringing that up?
Well, because it just says human psychology applied to robots. It doesn't, that seems like a very neutral title. And answer choice D.
How patent law applies?
Yeah, that is kind of neutral. Okay.
You guys stumped.
I quit. So biologists create new species in lab. Okay, so there's the lab is like the online world, right? That's what I was seeing, and I was like, oh, we have this new wealth or this new economy that's going on. Artificially created life. How patent law applies to that new situation. Let's go back to A.
Yeah.
Advances in artificial intelligence.
I mean, is it like...
It's like robots, advances in artificial intelligence.
Like they've,
Yeah.
like someone has discovered it, or...
Someone created robots.
Advances? Can't advances be claimed as...
Okay,
Yeah.
so human psychology applied to robots.
Which arguably embody artificial intelligence, right? So, taxation on goods.
I was thinking when I like looked up the right answer that like maybe not all robots are artificial, or all robots are artificial intelligence, but not the other way around. Like they could be completely different. They could be talking about two completely different
My
things.
I
baseline
mean,
was
answer
all
choice D
advances.
is
Are they
talking
synonyms?
about law, whereas A is talking about human psychology. I still feel like it's just not as good of a fit.
But it's like
Just
how
because
this
it's law.
theory, this like field applies to this other field. That's the second one. And the
But-
first one is,
What is
hey,
getting
there's this new
advanced?
field.
It says advances, but what would be getting advanced?
Like, oh look, we
Like
have
maybe they
Development.
develop something. Here, the thing is though, like human psychology doesn't have rules. Like this is just a closer fit. This thing is all about law. Why would we go with something that's further away from the situation in front of us if we think A and D are so similar in all of the
Are
respects?
artificial intelligence and human psychology not related at all?
No, that's not the issue. I'm just saying human psychology is less analogous
Oh, then
to
comparatively to what's going
than
on
law
in the
is
field.
to this law, right? Like the passage was about law, so we have the opportunity to choose an answer choice that deals with law. Just seems like a better fit.
Is that the
I mean, if you want to if you try to fit everything else in, right?
Is law analogous to law?
Well, this is talking about patent law. This is talking about patent law, and this is talking about tax law. But it just seems like we're dealing with rules, whereas human psychology is just like a field of study. It's not necessarily rules. So, sure, A seems decent, but D is closer.
Could we argue that advances versus the creation of something new could be a determination as well? Or no?
I mean, it's nice that it was created in a lab, just like these things were created online, right? So that's a little bit closer. I still think advances are new. They're things that people have created, but they they say it explicitly here. Biologists create new species in lab, whereas they don't say in lab. Presumably, it's in a lab. But again, these are small things. But I think that they're still kind of tipping the scale towards D, right? Even if everything else is similar. Do you feel like there's anything better about A than D? If we don't have anything better, then as long as there's things that are better about D, then we have to choose it. All right, anyone debating any other answers here? Okay.